Test. Kickoff for BC and Jenkins coming your way in 35 minutes on WatchBCSports.com. Getting ready for the first ball game of the season with BC and Jenkins. Kickoff coming up at 7:30 on WatchBCSports.com. WatchBCSports.com. Test. Good evening and welcome to another season here of Benedictine football. I am Kevin Thomas. Glad to have you with you for the first of what we hope is a 15-game season here for the Cadets. A little bit different platform coming up this season. We've got watchbcsports.com where you can find us all season long. And no video at the home games, but when we go on the road, we hope to have the video and the audio call for you as we go on the road this season. Of course, this is a team coming off of back-to-back state championships and looking to go for a three-peat here in 4A, led by their now senior quarterback, Luke Cromenhawk, who's been recruited by everybody, committed to Florida State. Look to see a lot from him. A lot of the same familiar guys are back. Only a couple guys gone off the offensive line. You've got some big-time players on that offensive line. Jacoby Ward's got some big-time offers. He's just a junior. So a lot of guys back from a season ago. Who you are missing is Zaquan Bryan off to the Big Ten and Minnesota, but we'll see who steps up. Obviously, you're still going to throw the ball with Luke Cromenhawk. We'll see who steps in to pick up those big-time catches. Running back's going to be Nasir Samuel. Kind of took over towards the end of last year when Ack Edwards got hurt. Ack's been moved out to one of those slot receivers to kind of get the ball to him in space here in 2023. So a lot of changes there and a lot of number changes going on with this BC team this year. So bear with me, especially early in the season, as I may call the wrong guy. Bryce Baker goes from 33 to 3. I believe Third Scroggins has gone down to a single digit, and he is at number 11. So he's gone down to number 11 from up in the 60s last season. So a couple number changes we're going to work throughout the season, but you got a lot of guys back on the defensive line, a lot of guys back just on the defensive side. Where they're young right now, BC is in the secondary. Just one returning starter. You got a freshman, Mekhi Williams, from last year, played a little bit. Now a sophomore, going to be providing a little bit of leadership. But right now, you don't have a whole lot of experience back there in the back end of that defense. We'll see if that gets tested early here by this Jenkins team. But offensively, you got a lot of guys back. Should be a fun unit to watch here in 2023. Again, good to have you along here. We're going to be on Watch BC Sports. So tell your friends, tell your family, tell BC alum who aren't in the area, can't listen, or take us with you in the stands there as well. And, plug in the old headphones and you can follow along with us while the game's going on. WatchBCSports.com, where you need to go. And proud to be back for another season calling BC football. The captains are heading out. That number 1 this year is Houston Jackson. He'll be accompanied by LaDon Bryant and now wearing number 3, Bryce Baker, your captains for BC. BC wearing all white tonight with the maroon numbers and the maroon helmet there as well. Maroon letters saying Benedictine across the chest. Jenkins comes out and some new look unis for them. They're in all black with the red numbers trimmed up in white, the white stripes on the sleeves, and they will don the all white helmet tonight. And it will have, I believe, the headdress on the side of the uniform. They are led by second-year head coach Tony Welch, very familiar there in the Savannah area, and he's in his second year at the helm. But BC returning a lot from a state championship team from a season ago, and a lot of the coaches still intact. Obviously, Danny Britt still at the helm, A.J. DePhillips, your offensive coordinator, Galen Houston, defensive coordinator. Those guys remain at the top. The only one who is not here, a longtime coach, Tony Orsini, who retired at the end of last season. But other than that, this entire coaching staff back intact from a season ago. So a beautiful night for football. Thank goodness it's cooled off a little bit. It has been a brutal couple of weeks. You talk about getting mentally ready for the high school football season, and you're going, my goodness, it's a gajillion degrees outside. How are they going to play? I know several teams had to practice inside because of the heat. You're not allowed to practice outside when it gets above a heat index of a certain level. So a lot of teams having to take at least a couple practices indoors within the last couple of weeks. But a little breeze blowing, looking at the flags across the way here at Memorial Stadium, blowing west to east, which you would expect here at Memorial Stadium. And we are just about ready to go here for what's set to be a wonderful 2023 high school football season for the Benedictine Cadets. Again, this is just the opening night. Had a couple of teams play last night. And now the opening night in mass for high school football across the state of Georgia. We'll try our best to keep you up to date with some scores from around the area as well as we go throughout the night. But that being said, it is time for football. The team's ready to go and run out on the field. We'll let you know how they line up when it gets started. But good to have you along here on WatchBCSports.com. Again, keep it right here all season long, in town, out of town, wherever you may be. We'll have the games for you right there, and glad to be a part of it for yet another season of BC football. And again, temperature's nice, sun setting down, not as blazing hot as you would expect for some of the early games. The humidity's right up there, but again, kind of what you expect for August football in the state of Georgia, especially South Georgia, as we get ready to get underway. Again, BC is the visiting team, still a huge crowd on the sidewalk trying to get in on that visitor side. So hopefully they've got Watch BC Sports pulled up on their phone and they won't miss a minute of it if they're trying to get into the stadium. BC, the visiting team from a year ago, they had the home game, now on the other side. So we are on the home side here with Jenkins as we are just about ready to go. Don't know what the holdup is. Both teams ready to run out and get this thing started. Now here comes Jenkins. Again, they are adorned in all black. Black pants, black tops, red letters and numbers, and the white helmets. And now the cadets take the field. All white, maroon stripe down the pants, maroon numbers, and the maroon helmets there on the top. And was looking down at some notes, missed who got the kickoff, but we'll find out here in just a moment. And judging by the personnel running out, it would appear that BC might be getting ready to kick this ball off. They are. So BC going to kick the ball off. They'll go on defense first. They'll kick it from out of the north end zone, which means if you're familiar with Memorial Stadium, they're kicking down towards the James J. Holmes Fieldhouse in the south end. And Jenkins will send a couple of deep men back. It will be Trenton Rhodes, a 5'8 junior, standing back on the goal line. Number 7, Tyler Ferguson. Marquise Bush. Kind of back there as well, but it'll be Rhodes back deep, and it will be a new kicker. Lost a lot of kickers last year, did Benedictine. It'll be Connor Ferguson, who's already got offered to Coastal Carolina, and this will be his first high school kick upcoming. So really impressed on the kick circuit this summer, and already has some collegiate offers, despite having never kicked in a high school game, to my knowledge. And talking with some of the BC folks, this kick right here will be his first. He steps it off, and we are just about ready to go. Ferguson checks with everybody, and the 2023 Benedictine Cadet football season is underway, and no, it's not. We already have a flag thrown from the head official who was coming out of the back of the end zone. We have a delay of game on Benedictine, and that's going to send Danny Britt out on the field with hands up. How are you delay a game on the first play of the season? So that'll back it up 5 yards. I think Danny Britt's arguing the play clock wasn't working. Or they actually called offsides. The flag came out of the end zone. So I think Danny Britt will right. Why does the flag come out of the end zone on an offsides call? I don't know how you make that 65 yards away, but apparently he's got the eagle eyes on tonight. So now Connor Ferguson will do it again, this time from the 35. He'll kick it from left to right. And we are just about, now we'll be ready to go, hopefully, for the 2023 cadet football season. Here's the kick, and it's a high hanging kick, comes down at the 10. Going to be caught up on the far hash, across the 15 to the 20, 23, and wrapped up at the 25. Flag comes flying in off the far sideline. That was Aaron Bacon with the return. And let's see what the flag is. Ball is being set down at the 25. Holding against Jenkins, so that'll back it up to the 15. And Danny Britt will most certainly take that. So we've had one play and 2 flags. And neither team has run an offensive play yet. So if you're filing into the stadium listening to us, you haven't missed a whole lot. Just some laundry getting dirty here early. Defensively across the front, you got Jeremiah Thomas and a couple of new guys up there with him, Cam Cody. And on the other side, it's going to be number 69, Sam Gross, on that right defensive end spot. Benedictine staying in that 3-4. They'll have 4 linebackers, third Scroggins. And it will be Bryce Baker, the 2 outside backers. it will be Wilkes Albert, and then on the inside, it'll be Larson Little, who saw a little bit of playing time as a freshman last year, but getting a nod as a starting backer there as a sophomore. And then very young in the secondary, only one returning starter in that secondary. And here's the snap, a high one straight ahead. BC defense just clobbers that up at the 15, nothing doing. Jeremiah James, the senior quarterback here for Jenkins. Zach Maxwell, the returning corner. He's the lone returner there for BC. And I think he was one of those number changes. He went down to number 5 out of the shotgun, and Jenkins false start. The whole left side of the offensive line stood up, and that'll back him up another 5 yards. It'll make it 2nd and 14. And BC's got him backed up here early. James looking near side. BC, again, kind of a slow start. We've had one offensive play and 3 flags already. James will get him lined up. He's in a shotgun. He's got a running back standing to his right, 2 receivers top side of the formation. BC flip-flopping Baker and third Scroggins, and now another flag. False start against Jenkins, going to back him up some more. So that'll put the ball down on the 5. That'll make it 2nd and 20. So now Jenkins going the wrong way. BC really hadn't had to do much, just get lined up, and Jenkins coming out in their own head. It'll be Jeremiah James, the quarterback. He stands on the goal line, takes the snap, 3 wides to his left, looking, throws one, and he'll skip it out there short. He was looking for number 17, Jawan Albert, and it was incomplete. And that'll bring up 3rd down and 20, and this is where the BC defense loves to feast. It's 3rd and forever. They can kind of pin their ears back, send third Scroggins, Bryce Baker and company. All up in the grill of Jeremiah James. 10:33 to go here in the first. Twins to either side of the formation. Now what do we have? Good night. We can't get out of our own way here. Trying to play football. Now we're ready to go. James stands on his own end line. BC will put 4 men with their hands in the dirt. James rolling to his left, still rolling, looking. He's going to have to tuck it and run, and Wilkes Albert couldn't bring him down. He gets run out of bounds across the 15 to the 17. That's going to be well short of a first down. Going to bring up 4th down at about 8. And Jenkins is going to have to punt this football. We'll have to pay extra close attention tonight because, of course, got a wonderful scoreboard that nobody wants to use, and so the down marker and distance never changes, as does the yardage. So we'll just have to keep our eye on it here. And hope my eyes are working good tonight. But good to have you along. First game of the season. Back deep to take this punt. Going to be Houston Jackson, now wearing number 1, the old Zaquan Bryan number from a season ago. Had several number changes that we'll continue to tell you about throughout the evening. And now what do we have? A timeout called for by Jenkins. So if you're going to write a script for how to start a football season, this has been anything but it. A bunch of penalties, a timeout, and 2 positive yards through it all. 10:18 to go here in the first quarter. And again, glad to have you along here on WatchBCSports.com, where we'll be here all season long. And BC set to get the football for their first time after this Jenkins timeout. And again, if you are Tony Welch, it wasn't so much what BC did as much as what you did. BC brought plenty of pressure, but we tried to run the ball once. False started a couple of times, incomplete pass. And it's been a clunky start there for Jenkins. And really just for the start of a football game, we've had, I think, 4 flags already in the first minute and 42 seconds, excuse me. So Jenkins going to punt this football away. He'll take the snap at the 5, and it's blocked. Didn't see who got a hand on it. We'll get it in a minute. It's going to be picked up at the 10 and dropped at the 9. It was number 47, Rasheen Jackson got back there and blocked that punt. And now BC is going to have first and goal. They're going to mark it forward to the 8. And special teams getting it done early. And now for the two-time defending state champs, they are in beautiful position. First drive, and they got 8 yards to go to pay dirt. And they are led out on the field by their senior quarterback, Luke Cromenhawk. And he will have a couple of backs to either side. Again, Nasir Samuel has switched it up. He wears number 6. Ack Edwards to his right. Samuel to his left. They'll give it to Nas. Nas breaks it right up the middle, and he'll push, keep pushing. 3, 2, 1, down to the goal line. Did he get in? No call as of yet. He's going to be, BC says they want it, but they're going to mark him short at the half-inch. And I would imagine this is going to be a Luke Cromenhawk special. You got a big, tall quarterback, and he goes under center. No motion, Edwards. No, they'll give it straight ahead. Nasir Samuel hops over the top and gets in there for a touchdown, a 1-yard touchdown run. Nasir Samuel with 9:36 to go here in the first quarter. And BC has their first lead of the season, and it will be Connor Ferguson coming on to tack on the point after. So that's the way you do draw it up there for Benedictine. As Ferguson steps up there out of the hold of Houston Jackson. And it's right through there and good. BC leads it 7-0 here in the early going at Memorial Stadium. First game of the season. Glad to have you along here on WatchBCSports.com. We'll be back, take a quick break, and come back here in the first quarter. BC up early. So BC leads it 7-0 over Jenkins. It will be Connor Ferguson. Once again, kicking it left to right, a 8-yard drive over 2 plays for BC. This one is drilled right down the middle, and it's going to come down in the end zone, and that'll be a touchback. So, again, good special teams weapon there for BC, being able to hit that end zone on the kickoff. So, a lot going good here for the Cadets wearing the all-white tonight. And Jenkins will come out for their second offensive set. 1st and 10 from their own 20. Did a lot of going backwards before finally getting 2 yards on their first drive and had to punt it back to the Cadets. Out of a funky set, high snap, and it's going to be picked up. Did they get a fumble? BC, no, he's going to be tackled backwards. Jeremiah James, they did an offset where you had one lineman, 4 linemen were way over to the right, and it was just James, a running back, a center, and a wide receiver to the right half of the field, and that was a high snap, and it just went absolutely nowhere. Actually lost about 9 yards, so it'll be 2nd and 19. They do the same thing again. Everybody here to the near side, a center, a running back, Jeremiah James, and 1 receiver. Now they'll motion to man. Here's a high snap again. James going to give it, and up the right side and popped out of bounds by Zach Maxwell. Goes number 18, Corey Strafford. And it will be 3rd down and about 12. So 3rd down and 12. They run the same formation again. Here's a high snap. It gets over James's head, and a flag comes out. And let's see, illegal procedure is going to be against Jenkins. And that'll back him up 5 yards. It'll be 3rd and 17. And again, kind of a odd formation they're just sticking with. All the linemen are way over on the left hash, and you got a center on the right hash. Jeremiah James is running back and 1 wide receiver. And that's it, all the way over on the right. So if BC can basically play man-on-man football and beat a man, then they're going to get you in the backfield. Should be third down. I don't know why they've got it wrong. The first play was a fumble. They hit him out of bounds. This should be third down. Here's the snap. James looking. Wilkes Albert gives him pressure. It's going to be caught out in the flat and dropped to the 15 and covered up. Bryce Baker did the cleanup, but a nice open field tackle by Marquis Williams. And it'll bring up what should be fourth down. Again, the officials have this wrong. You had a high snap. Then you had the run to the side. Then you had a penalty. This should be fourth down, and they've got it wrong. So the officials off to a awesome start here in 2023. So we're already on fifth down here. Kind of, sort of. This should be fourth for Jenkins. Here's the snap. James going to keep it himself. He'll run up the middle, and he'll be tackled after about 2 yards back to the 18, and it'll bring up fifth down and 12 because, well, that should have been fourth down. And Jenkins will punt it. And now Jenkins going to run on the punting unit. It will be, looks like Landon Creeley to punt the football for Jenkins. Out at the Jenkins 45 is Houston Jackson. Again, BC blocked the last one. Here's the snap, much better, and now a flag. 7:03 to go, and it's been a flag fest. And it's going to be a illegal substitution against Jenkins. And that'll back him up even further. Excuse me, this is Joshua Woodley doing the punting, number 44. So Woodley is backed up to the goal line. And Houston Jackson will move up to the 41. Here's the snap. BC coming after it again, almost got there. Up the elevator shaft, it's going to be short. Everybody needs to get away from it, hit somebody, and falling on it at the 32. Did Jenkins get that back? Is number 15, Cameron Gonzalez for BC. And no, they're going to say Jenkins got it back. And that was just a straight up the elevator shaft punt. You could see Houston Jackson was yelling at everybody to get away, get away, get away. And it landed short, and I didn't see which cadet it hit. But Cameron Gonzalez was trying to fall on it. I guess Jenkins Warrior got there a half a tick early and was able to wrestle it away from it. So it'll be 1st and 10 for Jenkins from their own 32. Let's see if they try that crazy formation again. It's James. And he will have an empty backfield. 6 wide receivers into formation for Jenkins, and Danny Britt is screaming at somebody over there. Illegal substitution. And that's way too many guys. 6 wide receivers, 5 linemen, and a quarterback equals too many men. And that'll back them up. So Jenkins going backwards again. And a clunky start to this one. It's just been penalties and going backwards. BC's one possession. They went 2 plays, 8 yards for a touchdown. Now James is in that solitary backfield, trips to his left, 2 to his right, takes the snap, all kinds of pressure. He'll step up in the pocket, break 3, a flag comes out. This is going to come back, and he'll run out of bounds across the 45. Another flag comes out. This one up close to the 50. There's a flag at the 25. I would imagine that's a hold on Jenkins. Not sure what the other one's going to be. Either way, I think this one's going to come back. Trying to get some clarification on what this one was up here at the 50. Everybody kind of let up for BC as James ran out of bounds. We got a hold against Jenkins. That is declined. And another hold against Jenkins. They'll take that one. So they'll take one of the holding penalties, back them up. And that'll put the ball on the 24-yard line of Jenkins. And it'll make it 1st and 17. James runs back into the huddle, comes from all the way across the field. Comes back to check in with Tony Welch. And he'll come out in a shotgun. He'll put twins either side. BC will walk up third. Scroggins off the left side. Here's the snap. James looking out in the flat. It's going to be caught and read beautifully and just formed tackle by Bryce Baker and then cleaned up by Makai Williams, just coming down from his strong safety spot. And they'll set the ball down at the 21. So they'll go backwards. It'll be second and about 19. Actually, second and 21, excuse me. So second and 21, 3 trips to the short side. And here comes a blitz. Wilkes Abbott just couldn't get there. And now James going to tuck it up the right side, and he will be brought down. That's going to be big number 34, Larson Little. Chased him down from his linebacker spot out near the 30. Well short of a first down. It's going to be third down. See where they spot the ball at the 29. So it'll be third down and 12. Jenkins comes right back out in a shotgun. Twins to either side. One running back to the right of Jeremiah James. He'll take the snap. James looking, he's got some time. Going to throw here to the near side. It is caught and immediately hit as soon as he caught it by number 13, Marquis Williams. Pass complete to Jaywan Albert. And it'll bring up fourth down. And I imagine Jenkins is going to punt the football, and they will. It'll be fourth down and about 6.5. And BC will get the football back. Let's see if the Cadets come after this one. Why not? They got the first one, almost got the second one. And they're going to send Makai Williams back to return this punt. Jenkins, some late substitutions. Are they going to get flagged again? Joshua Woodley set to punt it away, takes the snap, gets the kick off. It goes up the right side, a high hanging kick. Makai Williams going to fair catch it at the 35. Boy, if he doesn't fair catch that, he's got all kinds of room out to the left there, and he might have been in a foot race up the near sideline. So BC going to get it here, 3:53 to go, their second possession of the first quarter. Oh, we have a flag. The dead ball. False start against Jenkins. That's declined. BC is going to keep it. Oh, now we have a roughing the kicker. It's going to do fourth down again. Won't be enough for a first down. So Jenkins is going to have to kick it again. So a running into the kicker instead of roughing the kicker. So that's just a 5-yard penalty. So should be fourth down and about 1 or 2 here once they mark it off. Let's see what Jenkins decides to do. Unless they're called offsetting. They do have, so they're offsetting penalties. And it'll be fourth down again, and BC is going to make Jenkins kick it again. And why not? They've had some special teams miscues already. Warriors will send Joshua Woodley back out there. And he's had some high-hanging punts. Makai Williams won't be so quick to fair catch. There was a lot of room out to the left. Another Warrior running on late, hopping into formation. So first game miscues here for the Warriors. Here's the snap. Woodley going to hang one. Oh, this is end over end, a little more wobbly. Makai Williams at the 31. Makes a man miss, 35. He gets out to the 40 in a shoestring tackle made by number 13, Stephen Jones. Or Makai Williams is taken off. But great field position here for drive number 2 for the Cadets. They lead it 7-0. And they will take over from their own 40-yard line with 3:42 to go here in quarter number 1. Good to have you along here. Watch bcsports.com, where you can catch all the action. Again, a long line of fans trying to get in on that visitor side still for the Cadets. And we're almost done with the first quarter. Here's the snap. Kromenhoek, straight drop. Luke's looking. He'll step up in the pocket, and he will be sacked. Oh, tried to get rid of it. And did it get intercepted? No, incomplete. They're going to call incomplete. That's going to make Jenkins upset. I think they thought they either had an interception or that was going to be grounding. He was clearly going down. Luke was trying to avoid the sack. Oh, no, they are going to call the sack. Back judge, head officials came in saying incomplete. So at a loss of 5, it'll be 2nd down and 15. And Danny Britt, I think, is asking the same thing we did, was head official said incomplete. Yeah, he's showing his hand saying, you said incomplete. And the head official says, yep, my bad. So they're going to move it back up to the 40. It'll be 2nd down and 10. Not in midseason form is anybody at this point. Now BC goes empty. And now Tony Welch, I think, wants a timeout, and he's going to get a piece of the head official. And the head official is going to say, I called incomplete. I think he's got a legitimate gripe. I mean, Luke was going down. It was either intentional grounding or you should have an interception. I mean, you had 2 or 3 Warriors had their hands on him, and he was falling down. He just kind of tried to lob it out there. So if I'm Tony Welch, you got a legitimate gripe here. I don't know if he's going to win this one at the end of the day. But this is a timeout to plead your case kind of situation right here for Tony Welch. And you can see he is really upset. But if you're Danny Britt, you did the right thing. The back judge, or the head official who was in the back, clearly said incomplete. Came up waving incomplete. And they were going to mark it back at the 35 and make it 2nd and 15. Well, if it's incomplete, we didn't lose any yardage. So Tony Welch still pleading his case as the Warriors are back out on the field. It'll be 2nd down and 10. And the head official letting Tony Welch get his say in. Now we're ready to go. Croman Hawk leads him out. They've got 4 wides to the left. LaDon Bryant stands solo to the right, short side of the formation. He's looking at a 4-man front, 3 of them with their hand in the dirt. And now we're ready to go. 3:31 to go here in the first. Here's the snap. Luke, he's just going to tuck it and run it straight up 40. Lowers the boom at the 45. Still pushing, and he'll be brought down at the 49. A big gain of 9 on 2nd down. It'll bring up 3rd down and 1 for BC. And that time it was just the old QB power. Tuck it and go. John Lilly's going to come in, play that tight end spot. This might be Luke Croman Hawk sneak on 3rd and short. He goes under center. Nasir Samuel behind him. Here's the snap. They'll go straight ahead. Nas has the 1st down into Jenkins territory. And he'll be brought down at the 47. And they kind of went flex bone there with Ack Edwards and Rashawn Matthews. 4 wides again. Up to the top of the formation. 1 receiver, LaDon Bryant, here to the short side. It's 1st down. Jenkins jumped, then BC will take the free 5 yards. .244 to go here in the first. Here's Croman Hawk. Same formation for BC now on 1st and 5. Luke looks, he'll fling it out in the flat. This is Ack Edwards. He'll take it and go on a little flare route, and he'll have the 1st down, brought down at the 35.5-yard line. Move the chains for BC. So BC up there quickly. 1st down and 10. Nasir Samuel, now what do we have? Can't get the chains right. Now they'll get it redone. 2:05 to go here in the first. BC leads it 7-0. And they're marching again here in Jenkins territory. Luke takes the snap. He'll give it to Nasir Samuel. Nas, he'll get hit as he tries to go through the hole. Maybe leans forward to the 35. And it'll bring up 2nd down and 9. BC will stick with that formation. They'll put Ack Edwards out in one of those slots, 2 receivers to either side. They'll stay in that shotgun overlooking a four-man front. 2nd down and 9. BC driving. Luke looking. And it's going to be flush. Steps up in the pocket. He'll dive down towards the 30. And he's brought down there. It'll bring up 3rd down and about 4. A minute 20 to go here in the first. BC leads at 7-0. Glad to have you along here on bcsports.com. Hopefully some of you aren't waiting too long out there in the parking lot. We'll have the games for you all season long. If you're in the stadium, stay with us. Here's Krobenhawk. He rolls to his right. Luke, still in the scramble. Dumps it underneath. It's going to be caught down at the 15 and down towards the 11. That's number 7, Rashawn Matthews. Just ran the little drag route all the way across the field. And Krobenhawk patient, dumped it over the top. They kind of ran 3 routes in the same direction at various lengths. He picked the middle one to Rashawn Matthews and a 1st down just outside the 10 at the 11-yard line. We're waiting on the sticks again. And they'll motion Ack Edwards. He'll come in kind of as an H-back. And here's the snap. They'll give him to Sear Samuel. Nas trying to stutter step, nowhere to go, and he was brought down. Big number 55 for Jenkins. Isaac Smith, 6'2", 275 junior. Really shot the gap there. And that'll back BC up maybe a half a yard or so. 2nd down from the 11. Now 2 backs. Here's the give. Going to be Nasir Samuel. Student body left on the sweep. And he's going to try to make a man miss at the 7. Still spinning and brought down. They'll give him maybe the 5.5-yard line. Give him 5.5, 6 yards on the play. It'll bring up 3rd down. And that'll do it for the first quarter. We'll step aside here quickly. BC leads it 7-0 as we go to the second quarter. BC leads it here on WatchBCSports.com. Get my glasses. Hurry up. Welcome back here to Memorial Stadium as we get ready to start the second quarter. It will be Benedictine's ball, 3rd down, nose of the ball touching the 6-yard line. They can get a 1st down just inside the 1. Krobenhawk's got him back out there. Not sure why the long delay. As Luke stands under center. Offset I. As here's Luke, long count. They'll run the toss sweep. This is going to be Nasir Samuel trying to get the corner. Makes him a miss. Still on his feet. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Touchdown. He broke 2 tackles. Jenkins got great penetration there off the right side. And Nasir Samuel. Oh, no, that was Bryce Baker. Excuse me. Bryce Baker broke 2 tackles off the right side. These number changes are killing me. So Bryce Baker goes 6 yards for the touchdown. And BC leads it 13-0. Connor Ferguson will come on to tack on the extra point. Out of the hold of Houston Jackson, BC up 13-0. Here's the snap, the kick, and it is right through there. 14-0. BC leads at 11:51 to go here in the second quarter. Again, we'll have all the games for you here. Watch bcsports.com. And thanks to BC for working with us to get going here. Glad to be back on the broadcast here once again. You want to join the BC Athletic Association, visit thebc400.com. View the membership benefits of joining the BC Athletic Association. And it's a couple of dates to remember. The BC Homecoming Carnival is upcoming September the 28th. And Alumni Weekend, mark your calendars, is going to be September 29th and 30th. September 29th and 30th. So Connor Ferguson with the kickoff. And remember, next weekend, or next Friday night, we'll be up in Uptown. We'll be Uptown Charlotte as BC takes on Julius Chambers in Charlotte. And talking to Jack Holland and some of the folks around BC, they have played for the state championship in each of the last 4 years and won 2 of them and lost 2 of them. So a strong pedigree there out of the Charlotte area. And we'll be Uptown next Friday night. A little earlier kickoff, 7 o'clock. Kickoff for the Cadets there. Here's Ferguson. Left to right, he'll pooch it up. A little pooch kick on the right side. Fair catch called for and made at the 32 by number 27, Jeremiah Samuel. And that's where Jenkins will take over 1st and 10 with 11:51 to go here in the second. And again, this Jenkins offense has not been in BC territory as of yet. Does not have a first down yet in this ball game. And some of that's been BC, some of that's largely been Jenkins' own doing, as they've gotten a lot of penalties thrown on them here in the early going. They'll trot back out there. Jeremiah James, the quarterback. He's got Brandon Baxter offset to his right. Twins either side. BC in that 3-man front. Warriors put a man in motion. Here's the give. Baxter straight ahead. He gets across the 40 out near the 41. And that's probably the biggest play of the night for Jenkins, as it'll bring up second down in about 3.5. And let's see what the Warriors decide to do. They've gone with some strange formations. Now they're going to stay in that 2x2 out of the shotgun here with James. No motion a man here to the near side. Run that bubble screen. James fumbles the football. BC tries to pursue, and James is going to be brought down back at the 35-yard line. Elijah Alexander in pursuit. And a big fellow wearing 11. Excuse me, not Elijah Alexander. It's Third Scroggins. Third Scroggins in pursuit. He's changed to number 11. Jenkins has got an offensive lineman shaken up. Comes off holding his hand. Number 71, Deshaun Green, a big 6'1", 260-pound tackle. They'll run on Isaac Smith, who's played D-tackle for him as well. He's going to have to come on and join that offensive line. Again, hot and humid night if you're playing both ways here early in the season. Now James has got it. 10:33 and rolling here in the second quarter. BC up 14-0. Great crowd on hand. Still folks filing in here on the opening night of high school football in mass across the state. Had a few games last night. It's been a country day over Windsor Forest. Here's the snap. James going to roll here to the near side. Looking. Going to wind up. And now going to have to tuck it and be hit at the 44 out of bounds Bryce Baker got him. They're going to mark him short. They'll give him the 33 or the 43. If that's the case, he's short. It'll bring up 4th and 1. Near side officials mark him at the 43. It'll be 4th down and 1 for Jenkins. Are they going to go for it? Might as well. You're playing the 2-time defending state champs. You haven't got a first down yet. You don't lose anything by trying to go for it here. Maybe trying to pump a little confidence into your offense here early. So 4th down and 1. Ball's on the Jenkins 43. They need the 44. Bunch formation here to the near side. Jenkins moving all over the place. So you had 4th and 1, and then you false start. And Tony Welch is about to lose his mind because they're doing it to themselves. And now Jenkins going to punt the football. Cadets will trot on their punt unit, punt return. And they'll put Rashawn Matthews, or Houston Jackson, rather, back there. Houston Jackson went from 3 to number 1. And now Jenkins will punt. It'll be Josh Woodley again from his own 27. He'll line drive one up, hangs it back, and going to have to give chase, and they're going to let it go, get away from it. And it's going to go deep inside BC territory down to the 16-yard line. So a nice punt on the roll there by Woodley, in the worst field position of the night for BC upcoming. It'll be 1st and 10 from their own 16 with 9:37 to go here in quarter number 2. $14-0 BC. Out of a shotgun, Luke will put a man in motion. Here's the snap. He'll give it on the jet sweep to the right side. Gets a block. Trying to cut up field is number 14, Chris Frazier. And he'll be brought down back at the 15 for a loss of 2 or 3. And now what do we got? I think maybe somebody lost a helmet, making one of the offensive linemen. That's Raphael Scroggins, brother of 3rd Scroggins. So they're going to have to replace an offensive lineman for a play. Looks like they're going to bring on number 69, Sam Gross, in there at left guard. Bunch formation to the left for Cromenhog. Luke looking. He'll wind up out in the flat. Has a man. It's caught. That's Zach Edwards, and he'll be knocked out of bounds up around the BC 24.5-yard line. They'll bring up 3rd down and short for BC after a 6-yard gain up the right side. That is Nasir Samuel, excuse me. That 6 loops around, looks awful close to the 8 between him and Zach Edwards. Cromenhog out of a gun, twins either side. Jenkins jumped, and that'll be a freebie, and that'll make it 3rd and very, very short. And you can see some of the Jenkins Warriors frustrated. It's just been offsides, false start after offsides, and false start. You haven't really made BC work for it that much. So that'll actually give BC a 1st down at the 29 of BC. Twins either side. Cromenhog out of a gun. Luke takes a snap. He's looking, now going to roll here to his left. Lots of room, winds up, throws it near side, out of bounds. He was looking for Chris Frazier and just threw it a little too far out there. Had lots of room, not sure maybe he didn't want to tuck it and run it. It'll bring up 2nd down and 10. BC leads it. 14-0, 8:26 to go. Luke's going to go under center now. He'll run the toss sweep here to the near side. This is Rashawn Matthews, gets a block, stutter steps across the 30. Ball comes shooting out and rolls out of bounds. That thing rolled about 15, 20 yards over to the near sideline and out of bounds. And that'll bring up 3rd down. They're going to put the ball where it rolled out at the 35. BC's going to need 5. So 3rd down and 5 for the Cadets. They'll put Twins up to the far side. Ball's on the left hash. Ack Edwards and Chris Frazier here to the near side. Nasir Samuel also to Croman Hawks left. Jenkins showing some pressure. They walk a man up in the box. Here's the snap. Luke going to throw back the screen. It is going to be caught. This is Nasir Samuel at the 40. 45. He's across the 50. Tries to cut back. 45. Gets a block. Runs into his own man. And it's going to get brought down at the 41 of Jenkins. If he doesn't run into his own man at the 45, he's still running all the way across the field and up the far sideline. But a big first down on the backside screen. And that'll be a first down for BC. Nice play call by A.J. DePhillips. Luke kind of took a couple of steps to his right, then threw back on the underneath screen and let Nasir Samuel do the rest. Ack Edwards going to move over to the left side of the formation as an H-back. Twins up top. Now they'll move back to the other side. Croman Hawks got what he likes. Takes the snap. He'll fake it, keeping himself back here to the left side. He's got a lead blocker, 25-30, 25-20, and down at the 15-yard line. A touchdown-saving tackle made on the backside by number 16, Billy Johnson. And you can see that one with big playability. Had a couple of white shirts out in front of him. Now BC goes no huddle. They'll go to the flex bone. Luke will go under center, 7:24 and rolling. 1st and 10 from the Jenkins 15. Here's the counter. This is going to be Bryce Baker, 10, 5, and touchdown. Got it on the inside of the pylon. Oh, they're going to say his foot kicked over the pylon. How they're going to say stepped out at the 1. Thought Bryce Baker had his 2nd touchdown of the night. But he comes up a little short. It'll be 1st and goal. But a nice run there by Bryce Baker. And it'll bring up 1st and goal. BC will go right back under center. Offset eye, leaning towards the right. Bryce Baker's at the tail of that eye. They'll flip the tight end. It's going to be John Lilly going to the right side. Now they'll give it. Bryce Baker straight ahead, touchdown. Nobody got him. And BC on the board, 20-0, 7:08 to go here in the 2nd quarter, excuse me. Your announcer's not in midseason form either. And Connor Ferguson will come on to tack on the point after to make it 21-0. BC. So here is Ferguson out of the hold of Houston Jackson. A solid drive for the Cadets. Ferguson puts it up, and it is good. 21-0. BC leads it here in the 2nd quarter. We will step aside here on WatchBCSports.com. Coming back in just a moment. Welcome back here to Memorial Stadium. BC leads at 21-0 here in the second quarter. As Connor Ferguson will kick it off from right to left. It's been all BC, and Jenkins has not helped themselves in any way. Here's the kick. Ferguson going to hang one up high, going to come down at the 3-yard line, across the 5 to the 10, out to the 15, 20, 25, out to the 30, and brought down to the 31. Tackled by number 26, Andrew Trammell. And it'll be 1st and 10 for Jenkins at their own 32. After the return by Dominique Johnson. 1st and 10 for Jenkins, 6:58 to go here in the second. They have yet to get a first down. Got within a yard and then had a false start, moved him back and had to punt. And have not crossed midfield as of yet against the Cadets to this point either. Have an offset flex bone look here for Jenkins, and they'll counter. BC has seen that a lot, and maybe a yard off the right side goes number 29, Joe Polite. And that's, we've seen Tony Welch when he was at Savannah High run some of that stuff. That flex bone look, and was very successful with it. It'll be 2nd down and 9 here for Jenkins upcoming. But again, I think it's going to be tough sledding against BC running that when that's just a part of your package. If that's your everyday package, we've seen some teams have some success with that, but this is the first kind of look we've seen out of that flex bone for Jenkins. They'll go right back to it. Another wing back kind of side by side there next to the B-back. They'll fake it. James going to bootleg out of it, and he'll step to the 35, and Jeremiah Thomas goes just have some lunch, dinner, and breakfast all at the same time and push him back. A flag comes in late. Not sure what that was, but the result of the play is maybe a yard. Let's see what the flag is. Holding against Jenkins. Let's see if Danny Britt takes the play. It's only a yard. It'd be 3rd down and 8. I think they're trying to decide if they want to take it or not. I think the way your defense is played, you just decline it. And now I think Galen Houston said, go ahead and back him up. So we got holding on Jenkins. And that'll make it 2nd down again. And let's see where they put the ball down at. Just inside the 23. So that'll bring up 2nd down. We'll call it. Well, now they just moved the stick on us again. 2nd down and about 20. They need the 43 for the first down. And they'll move to the shotgun. Now trouble lining up. They'll put twins either side. Jeremiah James checks the play clock. He's got 7 to snap it. Now he'll motion a receiver. Takes the snap. High snap. James looking. He's going to get flushed. Here comes 3rd Scroggins on the blitz. Looking. He'll throw it downfield. Intercepted. Back at midfield. At the 40. At the 35, 30. And knocked out. Still on his feet down at the 26-yard line. Ball intercepted by Antonio Hanson-Mann. One of those new players back in that BC secondary. He picks up the interception, runs it back to the 20. We have a flag on the far sideline. It's against Jenkins. It's going to be declined. And BC's going to get it at the 26 of the Warriors. So great field position here again. And a chance to bust this thing wide open. .5:20 to go here in the second. Thanks for being along here with us on Watch BC Sports. Glad to be back here with you for another season of BC football. As the Cadets look to go for the three-peat. Here's the snap. Luke, gonna get flushed. He'll step up in the pocket. Now run here to the left at the 25. At the 20, has a lead block. 15 and out of bounds. Flag comes in. I'm going to guess that's going to be a hold downfield on Ack Edwards at the 9. So they'll back it up from there. It'll end up being like a gain of 1 on the play, I think, when it's all said and done. Excuse me, the flag was at the 14. So they'll mark it off, put it down on the 25. So a yard, actually gained a yard on the play. And it'll be first down and 9-ish. Maybe closer to 10, but 5:10 to go here in the second from Memorial Stadium. Cadets marching right to left. 4 receivers up top of the formation. Now Luke's going to check back. I think they're going to change the play up here. He's got Chris Frazier, the lone receiver, here to the bottom of the formation. Now we're ready. Luke will take the snap. Looks to his left. He got 1-on-1. Has Frazier. Has his man beat. Caught. Did he get the foot down? No. Just out of bounds. And he dropped the football when he hit the ground. Had his man beat. Frazier, a 10th grader. Got that speed that we've been accustomed to seeing from BC receivers. Had his man beat up there on bump coverage. And just couldn't hang on to the pass. 5:02 to go. It'll be second down. And we'll call it 10. Here's the snap they give straight ahead. Nasir Samuel. Nas breaking tackle. Still running. Still pushing guys out of the way. He's at the 15. And maybe Jenkins got away with a face mask. But he'll fall down at the 12. And a man-sized run that time by Nasir Samuel. And it'll bring up a first down for BC as they continue to drive. Should be first and 10, just outside the 10. 2 backs in the formation. Here's the snap. Luke will give it to Nasir Samuel. Nas will get inside the 10 off the right side. Give him a couple. And it'll bring up second down for the Cadets. They're at the 10-yard line. Now what do we have? I think a BC player is a little slow to get up. Can't see who that is. One of those offense. No, it's Nasir Samuel. He's got his helmet off there at the 10. It is hot and humid. Don't know if he's got a cramp situation. As the trainers attend to him, we'll let you know again next week. We'll be up in Uptown Charlotte. Julius Chambers, North Carolina powerhouse. Your BC Cadets will be making the ride up there to take them on. And kickoff for that one of note will be a little bit earlier at 7 o'clock instead of 7:30. So all part of the BC plan. You want to go out and you want to play the best you can play. And an opportunity came up where they lost Gadsden, Florida, and Julius Chambers was available, and BC said, we'd love to play. So they will go on next week to Charlotte and take on one of the state powers there. They've been to the state championship 4 years in a row, won 2 of them. BC, of course, has won 2 in a row themselves. And we'll be there next week right here on WatchBCSports.com. Cadets are going to go to that flex bone formation with the tight end. They'll give straight ahead and inside the 10 down to the 6 before they blow it dead. Goes to Barry Green. So DeBerry Green will bring it to third down. It's kind of just inside the 7. Cadets can get a first down at the 2, so 3rd and 5. And now what do we have? Did Jenkins just take their final timeout? They did. 3rd timeout of the first half for the Warriors. And let's see if Tony Welch spends more time pleading his case. He's got his team huddled up here on the near side. Talking to him, Danny Britt. He's got the Cadets huddled around him on the far sideline. A.J. DePhillips trying to dial up another scoring play here and put the Cadets up maybe 28-0. Cadets will get the football coming out of the locker room as well as they kick the ball off first. So just what you'd hope to see here out of the two-time state champions. Jenkins 4-7 a year ago. And the cadets are coming out after a sloppy performance, albeit in a scrimmage-type situation against Toombs County, where the starters only played a couple of quarters. I know the coaches and staff not happy with that performance last week, but it's been much better this week. As they lead at 21-0 here in the second. Timeout is over. Twins up top. One receiver here to the short side. Ack Edwards will give him trips now to the right side. Here's the snap. Luke going to throw to a wide open Chris Frazier. Just ran a little out route. Luke hit him right in the chest, and there was nobody there. And it's 27-0. BC with 3:44 to go on the 7-yard hookup to Chris Frazier. Just more BC. And it's with 3:44 to go here in the second. And Connor Ferguson puts the right leg into it. And right through there, 28-0. BC here in the second. We'll step aside momentarily. You're listening to BC football here on WatchBCSports.com. It's 28-0. BC leads Jenkins, 3:44 to go here at Memorial Stadium. Connor Ferguson will kick it off. Reminder, BC fans, if you want to join that BC Athletic Association, visit thebc400.com to view the membership benefits of joining the BC Athletic Association. 28-0. And you see Chris Frazier having himself a nice night here early. One of those new pieces on offense. And showing some flashes of speed. Ferguson right to left is going to hang one up here to the right. Going to be a fair catch and caught back at the 28 over the shoulder grab by, I believe, number 27, Jeremiah Samuel. And that's where Jenkins will take over. They have yet to get a first down and have not yet crossed midfield on this BC defense. And that BC secondary is held up pretty good. They've got an interception in this ball game. One of the newcomers, Antonio Hansen-Mann, with a big pick to set up the last Benedictine drive. And they have kind of held up and held their own. Makai Williams, both playing really well. And Zach Maxwell at the other corner has played his usual self. Here's the snap. Inside give, right ahead up to the 35 before Wilkes Albert brings him down. Got a cadet, Liam Hogan, shaking up on the play. He'll come out. He'll be replaced by Larson Little. 2nd and 5 after the carry by Brandon Baxter. 5'11", 215, a good load back there at running back. The Warriors will break the huddle here. May have a new quarterback here for Jenkins. We'll check that. Here's an inside give, and there's going to be the first down as they give it again to Brandon Baxter. He'll go across the 40 to the 42. We do have a new quarterback. It's going to be number 15. As a Kiwi Pope. He is a freshman. don't have a height and weight on him. But Pope is in there at quarterback for Jenkins, and he's got him a first down. Out at the Jenkins 42.5, ball right in between the 42 and the 43-yard line. Pope in a shotgun. Twins here to the near side. One receiver up top, H-back to the left as well. Here's the snap. A little give inside to Baxter. That's going nowhere. Third, Scroggins, Bryce Baker, both crashing down. No gain, maybe lost a half a yard. And it'll be second down and 10. BC defense has really played well. Cam Cody, big time lineman, along with Jeremiah Thomas. Yeah, BC definitely keeping that size up front on the defensive side of the ball. Twins either side on 2nd and 10 from the Jenkins 42. Here's Pope. He'll motion a man across the formation. Here's the snap. High snap, looks near side, winds up. His first pass is way overthrown. Looking here to the near side for Kamari Hall. And just sailed it. And it'll bring up third down and 10. And they do not know how to spot the football. The sticks are at the 42. The ball is at the 43. Not sure how they gained a half a yard on an incomplete pass, but nevertheless, here we are. Third down and 10, minute 29 to go here before the half. Cadets up 4 touchdowns, 28-0. Here's Pope out of a shotgun. Twin to the short side. He'll take the snap, give it to Baxter straight ahead, and BC there to stack it up at the 45. Give him a gain of 3. Danny Britt's going to call a timeout, 1:20 to go. And the clock keeps running, and they finally stop it at 1:19. And it'll be fourth down. And this was just to stop the clock, so Cadets not even huddling up as they expect Jenkins to punt the football. Or will they? They got the punt team now. They'll trot the punt team out there. And so BC trots their punt return team on. And let's see who they send back deep. It's going to be Houston Jackson. Let's see if they come after this one with a minute 19. Try to set up a short field again. This is as close as Jenkins has gotten to midfield here at the 46. They will send Josh Woodley back deep to punt it away to Houston Jackson, who's backing up at the BC 26 is where he'll camp out. Here's the snap. Woodley. Nice snap. Going to hang one up there. Nice looking punt. Houston Jackson got a fair catch. He got interfered with. Taking a minute for the flag to come out before it's touched up. How on earth do you not call interference? And that's what Danny Britt is losing his mind on. Houston Jackson's body got turned sideways after calling for the fair catch. And I don't know if they're going to say he couldn't get out of the way, but clearly he was not allowed an opportunity to field the football. Ball took a BC bounce back to the 30, so that's where the Cadets will take over. And I think Danny Britt is still trying to get an explanation on how that's not interference. But nevertheless, minute 6 to go. BC's got a couple of timeouts and 70 yards to pay dirt. Luke out of a shotgun, straight drop. Now he'll step forward, winds it up, throws it over the middle, has a man. Oh, he just unleashed the cannon and a flag comes out. Apparently that's why there was nobody there, as he was looking for Frazier running the post route, and apparently somebody held him up. Pass interference against Jenkins. So that'll give BC a lot of yardage. as they'll walk it all the way out. Put it on the near hash here at the 45. Boy, Luke really showed off the cannon there. Let it go behind the 30 and hit it the other 20, easily in the air. Four wides for BC. Now Edwards will make it 5. Now what do we have? There's a football on the field from somewhere. They're going to make one of the ball boys go get it. That was the pass from Luke. It was all the way down in the end zone. Rolled that far. Nobody went and got it. So now BC will reset. First down and 10 from their own 45. Nasir Samuel put trips up to the right. Luke looking. Got some time. Throws it down the middle. He's got Nasir Samuel. Nasir almost intercepted. And a collision at the 30. And we have a Jenkins man down. That was a big collision with Nasir Samuel. And maybe knocked the wind out of him. Luke trying to drop it in the bucket there. And can't see who it is for Jenkins, but he is in a lot of pain. And I think maybe the way they hit, he just got the wind knocked out of him. While they tend to him, we will step aside momentarily. It's 28-0. You're listening to BC Football on WatchBCSports.com. Welcome back to Memorial Stadium. The injured Warrior was Marquise Bush. He is up and walking to the near sideline under his own power, so that's a good sign. Again, I think the way they hit him, he was going for the interception, and Nasir had his head turned back to try to catch it and just caught him right there in the chest, right up under the breadbasket, and knocked the wind out of him. So we'll do it again here. Luke, the little throwback tunnel screen all right through the hands of Chris Frazier. Had it set up and went right through the hands. And that'll bring up third down and 10. So BC trying to make something happen. I know Danny Britt loves these right before half scenarios where you have to go down in 2 minutes or less and make something happen. I know it's week 1, but never too early to work those scenarios. Here's Luke on third down, looking, steps up in the box, slides near side, has a man up the left sideline. Edwards caught at the 30-25, hits a man at the 22 and knocked out of bounds. A flag comes in at the 38. Not sure who that's going to be on. Ack was running all by himself. My guess maybe it's against BC, pass interference against Jenkins. That's going to be clearly declined as Ack got it all the way down to the 21. It'll be first and 10 from the 21 with 40 seconds to go. My guess is somebody tried to hold Ack leaking out there on the flat, and he was able to break free. Makai Williams in there for BC. Now they're going to take him out and put Chris Frazier back in there. .30 seconds, clock running. BC first down from the 21, Twins near side. LaDon Bryant to the top. They'll run the reverse. Coming back, here's Chris Frazier. He's got a block set up. LaDon Bryant hits a man at the 15. At the 10 is Frazier. 5, leans for the pylon. Touchdown. Unbelievable run. Chris Frazier on the reverse. And he goes 21 yards for the touchdown. BC 34-0. over Jenkins. You saw that set up and that block by LaDon Bryant on the edge. Just set everything in motion. And then you saw Frazier, once he got that block, just kicked it in and leaned for the pylon and got that touchdown. 16 seconds to go before the half. Connor Ferguson getting his work in tonight on to make this next extra point. Here's the snap. Kick is up, and it is right through there. 35-0. BC out in front. Here, right before half, 16 seconds to go. And it's been all BC. Jenkins with just one first down. They have yet to cross midfield. And it's been a dominating performance for BC. And, I mean, just truth be told, Jenkins has done some of this to themselves with a whole lot of penalties and poor execution on their part. Trenton Rhodes back for Jenkins here with 16 seconds. And Connor Ferguson, we talked with some folks before the game. He's got an offer from Coastal Carolina, and tonight was his first career kick. When he kicked the ball off, that's the first time he had kicked in a high school game, and already had an offer from Coastal Carolina. And Ferguson, a junior, so a couple of years here at BC, and apparently just had a really good summer camp circuit and drew a lot of eyeballs. And when you got a guy, once again, we saw it last year, that can kick it in the end zone, what a weapon it is in high school football to be able to do that. Ferguson walks it off, checks with everybody, we're ready to go. Right to left, he comes forward. He'll pooch it up again, and going to be fair caught at the 35-yard line. And that's where Jenkins will take over with 16 seconds. And Danny Britt sometimes sees a little something in the kick return game where he just hangs it up. Also has a lot of confidence in the way his defense is playing right now. Not to get excessive and maybe risk a return. That was, as what a couple of seasons ago, that was one of the Achilles' heels, was the kick return coverage. And they got it straightened out. And then, of course, last year, you had Connor Graham who could boot it into the end zone. Here come the Warriors. See if they stick with Pope at quarterback. They do. They got the young freshman out there. So Pope back in there. He'll have a back to either side. He'll also have Brandon Baxter as an H-back over to the left. Only one receiver in the formation here with 16 seconds. Pope will take the snap. It's high, and he's just going to take a knee. A little late taking a knee. And that's going to do it for the first half. He kind of stood there for a minute. I mean, obviously BC's not going to use a timeout. Just go get on the knee, young man. And that will do it for the first half. So after the first half, BC leads it 35-0 over the Jenkins Warriors. They will get the ball coming back out of the locker room, but a tremendous first half. Let's recap how we got there in the first quarter. It was Nasir Samuel, a 1-yard touchdown run, capping off a 2-play, 8-yard drive for BC, and they led it 7-0 with 9:36 to go in the first quarter. And then BC had to wait until the second quarter when Bryce Baker went 6 yards for a rushing touchdown. That made it 14-0 BC. Bryce Baker again with a 1-yard run. Made it 21-0 with 7:10 to go in the second. Next possession for BC. Trying to read some of the writing here. There was an interception that gave BC the possession with 5:20. It was Herman Mann with the interception. And then it was Chris Frazier, 7 yards on the touchdown reception, made it 28-0 BC. And then Chris Frazier again, about 3 minutes later, with a 21-yard reverse, made it 35-0 BC. And we stand here at the half. We'll step aside. We'll come back and get you ready for the second half. So we'll step aside for just a little bit. Don't go anywhere here on WatchBCSports.com. Welcome back here to Memorial Stadium as we wind down the half, 35-0. BC over Jenkins. Let's remind you how we got here. It was Nasir Samuel, a 1-yard touchdown plunge with 9:36 to go in the first quarter. After BC blocked a punt, it was a 2-play, 8-yard drive. Nasir Samuel, the last yard of that, got on the board with a touchdown. Bryce Baker then in the second quarter followed up with a 6-yard touchdown run, made it 14-0 BC with 11:51 to go. Also another 1-yard rushing touchdown on the next possession for BC with 7:10 to go in the second, made it 21-0. Then an interception by Antonio Hanson-Mann set up BC with a short field, and a touchdown pass to Chris Frazier with 3:44 to go in the second, made it 28-0. And then on the final possession, BC marched right down the field with 17 seconds. Chris Frazier, a 21-yard reverse run for a touchdown, made it 35-0. And that's where we stand here at the half as we get ready to start half number 2. It will be Benedictine getting the ball first after they kick to start the game. And we'll see again at 35-0, week number 1, a big game next week for BC. How long do you let some of these guys play in the starting roles? Guys like Luke Cromenhawk and others who you know can get it done. How long do you let them play here in this ball game? No, you got a big one with Julius Chambers coming up next week, and we will be there next week in Uptown Charlotte for that one. BC and Julius Chambers. Kickoff at 7 o'clock. Keep that in mind for next week. 7 o'clock kickoff next week for BC and Julius Chambers. We are just about ready to go here for the second half. Glad to have you along. Again, our new home for BC football here in 2023. WatchBCSports.com. WatchBCSports.com. We'll have the home games on video, but when we go on the road, we hope to have the audio and the video to go along with it as well. And we'll look to have that for you next week from Uptown Charlotte against Julius Chambers. So remember that, WatchBCSports.com next week for BC and Julius Chambers. And we'll hopefully have some video of the ball game for you as well as the play-by-play. Looking forward to that. Second half just about ready to go. BC will get the ball first. Again, a dominating effort by the BC defense. Jenkins with 1 first down in the first half, and they have yet to cross midfield on offense. So a dominating performance by the Cadets on defense there in that first half. And they will get the ball to start here in half number 2. And they will send back, I believe, Houston Jackson and Nasir Samuel. Nope, it's Rashawn Matthews and Nasir Samuel back deep for BC. Jenkins to kick it off for the first time tonight. It will be Joshua Woodley handling the kick duties. And he gets about 3 yards behind the ball, so this is going to be a power squib in all likelihood. And Woodley comes forward. He'll drive it. A nice little kickoff up the right side. Comes down to Nasir Samuel at the 15, 20, 25. Nasir gets a block, 30, 35. Out to the 40, cuts back across and drug down. A flag comes flying in from way back. I think they're going to get Jenkins for a face mask at the end of this. And that'll tack on even more, but they brought Nasir down. And now we got some extracurricular going on out there as they get Nasir back to the Cadet sideline. So probably tacking 15 more on to the end of this one, which was out near the 45, 46-yard line, depending on where they're going to officially mark him down. Face mask against Jenkins. And that should move it. Are they going to mark this off from the 50? Nasir did not make it that far. But that's where they're going to mark it off from. So they're going to go 15 yards from the 50. BC going to start on the Jenkins 35-yard line. So a generous post kickoff spot plus another 15. And BC is in very good territory here to start the second half. For some reason, the clock is still rolling. I guess they agreed to running clock here in the second half over that threshold. And here's the snap. It's going to be a give to Ack Edwards. Ack going to plow ahead. And he will get inside the 30, still pushing. A flag comes in. All kinds of bodies going everywhere. They finally push him down at the 27. And looks like this is going to be a running clock in the second half, so this could be very quick here. As BC fans, I'm sure you're familiar with, once you get to that running clock and you take your time, not unheard of that BC could burn up 7-8 minutes on this 35-yard drive. They're going to have a flag against BC. They'll push the ball back to the 33-yard line. It'll be 1st and 8. Be 1st down and 8 after they mark off the penalty. So they actually gained 2 yards off the penalty. Clock continues to roll. And again, this is what you're talking about. Through all this standing around, the clock's burned up at least a minute. So with the running clock, you may not get it but once, maybe twice more after this possession. Cromanhawk under center. They'll mark it as 2nd down. They'll give to Ack Edwards on the end around. He'll cut back 30, 25, meets a man there, pushes forward inside the 25 to the 24, and that's a 1st down. Clock will keep running. Third Scroggins was out there on that play for BC. Got him out there on offense. 4 receivers to the top. Luke will drop back by himself in a gun, takes it, looking, he'll tuck it down and run it, and he's at the 20, 15, inside the 15, down to about the 12, and that'll be a gain of 11, 12 on 1st down. Another 1st down, and the flag comes flying in late. Cadets start clapping it up, so this looks like there'll be a dead ball penalty against Jenkins. And we have a fight in the bleachers over here on the near sideline. And the clock's running. And that is stop play here. And this is the same kind of silliness that took place last year in this game. And I believe they have the 2 combatants separated. And I think some of Chatham County's finest are going to handle some of this. And we have stop play, 7:57 to go here in the 3rd quarter. Jenkins has their entire team off the sideline out on the field. And again, this was not as serious an allegation as last year. It was like two girls fighting in the stands. And now I think the cops are trying to figure out who's involved. So we got a little delay here on the near sideline.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, we ask everyone to please return to your seats. Please return to your seats. Again, please return to your seats.
And now we have some folks getting escorted out of the building.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, we ask everyone to please return to your seats.
And I think we have order restored in the stands. And I think we'll be ready to play football again here at some point. And again, this is the kind of stuff you don't want to see. It's a high school football game. And the kids on the field came here to play football and not have it stalled because folks are going at it in the stands, throwing fists.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, we ask everyone please return to your seats.
But again,
return to your seats so we can restart
credit the Chatham County Police. They were on the scene and got everything back under control. 7:57 to go here in the third. And I think we're going to get ready to go back and start playing once again as the Jenkins squad returns to their sideline. And I think we're ready to go. BC's kind of walking back out there on the field. Danny Britt out at the hash marks, talking with athletic director Jack Holland. And again, last year this game was stopped in the second quarter right before halftime. And they did not resume. And we're in a similar spot here, although I think we're going to keep going. And again, it was a fight that broke out in the stands here on the Jenkins sideline, or not in the sideline, up in the stands on the Jenkins side of the field. So now I think everybody's waiting to get the ready to go here. Again, the Jenkins squad has returned to their sideline. Tony Welch out on the field for Jenkins, out near the numbers. Danny Britt out at the other hash mark. Kind of waiting to see the head official's kind of standing by himself out there. He's got one of the Savannah Chatham County School officials out there standing with him. And I think he just gave him the ready to go here. 7:57 running clock here in the third when we get this thing going again. And now the lead official is going to come over and talk to Tony Welch.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you are standing up on the bleachers, down at the bottom, you will be put out the game. Again, if you are standing up, you will be put out the football game. So, again, if you are standing up, you will be put out the football game.
So you can hear the PA announcement trying to get the fans to get back in the stands and sit down. And now Danny Britt has returned to the cadet sideline. He's kind of back over there amongst his players. And now I think we're going to be ready to go. Lead officials walking back out there. I think he's going to try to get both teams back out on the field. And that's one of those things where you just had the halftime. You come out and you play. I know it says a little over 4 minutes gone, but they haven't really played that many snaps due to the running clock. And then you have another long delay. Cadets are back out there on the field. They're waiting for Jenkins to return. And now the Warriors are coming back out. Jenkins has a man, Lorenzo Cowan, cramping up on the sidelines.
Everyone, please have a seat. At this time, even if you stand in the bleachers, you will be.
So now they got both teams out there.
Have a seat, please. Thank you.
Clock will start rolling again. 7:53, 52 and rolling. Luke's going to come under center out of the wing tee. Here's the snap. Luke looking. Backside fade to throw. It is caught, but too late by LaDon Bryan. He was out of bounds. LaDon just ran out of room and couldn't get the feet down. So they'll do it again. Clock continues to roll. This will be second down and goal for BC from the 6-yard line. Cadets will go right back to that wing tee, a receiver to either side. Rashawn Matthews, Ack Edwards, the two wingbacks. DeBerry Green in there, that B-back spot. Luke changing up the play. Now they'll put a man in motion. Here's the snap. Luke going to scramble to his right. Got all kind of room. I think he's going to tuck it. He will. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Touchdown. Luke Cromenhawk. And the Cadets tack another one on. It's 41-0. Luke Cromenhawk with a 6-yard touchdown run off the right side. His first rushing touchdown of the ball game. His second touchdown, one through the air to Chris Frazier. And now he tacks another one on rushing. So Luke's got 2 touchdowns. And BC leads it 41-0. Connor Ferguson on to tack on the point after. Again, clock rolls during all of this. So just even on the extra point situation, you waste a minute or so. So this second half should go by really, really quickly. Here's the snap, hold from Houston Jackson. The kick is right through there and good. Connor Ferguson has looked really good in his debut here for the Cadets, and they lead it 42-0 on the Luke Cromenhawk scramble. Good way to come out of the locker room, even with all the distractions of the fight in the stands and the delays. They march right down the field and tack one on. 42-0. Cadets lead it. Reminder, if you are a fan of the Benedictine Military Cadets, think about joining the BCAA today. Visit the BC400.com to view the membership benefits of joining the BC Athletic Association. A couple of dates while we're waiting. You want to remember Honors Day, Underclassmen Honors Day is August 25th. Commissioning, September 16th. The big BC Homecoming Carnival, September 28th. And mark your calendars, Alumni Weekend is going to be September 29th and 30th. So coming up a little bit later in the calendar year. Next week, we'll be in Charlotte for Julius Chambers. Week number 2 for the Cadets. A North Carolina powerhouse. Cadets, though, having their way here tonight. 4:50 and rolling. A good minute and a half is rolled off on this rolling clock. Ferguson will come forward. He'll put his foot into this one, and he'll drive it up the left hash, and it will get into the end zone and a touchback. So Connor Ferguson showing off the leg a little bit. And it'll be 1st and 10 for Jenkins from their own 20. 4:30 and rolling here in quarter number 3. With that running clock. Again, good to be here with you again. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your fellow BC fans. Watch bcsports.com where you need to go to catch the ball games this year. And we'll keep you up to date each and every Friday night with what's going on with Benedictine. Jenkins going to stay with that quarterback, Pope. He's in a shotgun. BC with a 4-man front. Here's the snap. Pope flares it out. Screen pass read beautifully. And Mekhi Williams had him wrapped up. He got loose. And now BC in pursuit to the other side of the field. Nice open field tackle. Oh, my goodness. Mekhi Williams just came back across the other side of the field. They tripped up the runner, and as he stumbled, Mekhi Williams just absolutely cleaned his clock at the 12-yard line. That's going to go down as a loss of 8. They'll mark him up to the 13, but my goodness. Did you get the name of that truck? It was Mekhi Williams, who, give him credit on the hustle, had the running back tackled about the 7 or 8 and came all the way clear across to the far sideline and just brought the lumber. And now a timeout from Jenkins, as I think Pope was shaken up on the play. They were going to go back to Jeremiah James. And 3 minutes and rolling here even in the timeout. So with the running clock, you call a timeout. You're going to come back. It's going to be 2nd and 17. And the clock continues to roll. This BC defense has really, really played well here in the early going. And again, you'll take a step up in competition next week. You'll maybe learn a little bit more about yourselves. And maybe a chance to play a couple guys here in the fourth quarter. They finally stopped the clock in the timeout at 2:40, but not before a good 20, 25 seconds rolled off the clock. BC leads it 42-0. And that defense has a few new faces on it, but they have played well tonight. Gotten some good pressure up front. Jeremiah James back in at quarterback here for Jenkins. He'll take the snap. Inside give. BC reads that well. First hit by number 24. That's going to be John Lilly, and he'll get pushed back. He maybe got back to the line of scrimmage, and give Lilly credit. Shook off a block and kind of stuck that left arm out there and slowed down the momentum. And held him for no gain. Going to be third down. Clock continues to roll, and now if you're Galen Houston and company, I think you just get a little selfish and say, hey, they've had one first down all game. Let's see if we can keep them from crossing midfield here in the remainder of this ball game. 3-man front for the Cadets, 5 wides into formation for Jenkins. James all by himself takes the snap. Off the edge. Boy, it closed down quickly. He's got pursuit, rolls. He'll loft one up. Nobody there. Intercepted again. That's going to be number 9. His second pick of the ball game is Antonio Hanson-Mann. Right there at midfield, a flag on a play, and they may have gotten Jenkins after the play for some more, and that'll put them farther into Jenkins territory. So second interception for Hanson-Mann, and that BC defense continues to play really, really well. Let's see what the call is. This may go against BC. Didn't see what it was. Looks like they're going to mark it off against the Cadets. Legal block in the back after the interception on BC. We'll put the ball at the Cadets' 40. Clock continues to roll. Just 1 minute to go here in the third. And let's see who comes back out. Some new numbers out there. It will not be Luke Kromenhawk in at quarterback. It will be Stephen Cannon in there at quarterback for the Cadets. So bear with me. We got a bunch of new numbers out there for BC as we get ready to go to the fourth. 43 seconds. Cannon under center out of the wing tee. Takes the snap, gives it on the end around, across the 40 out to the 45, 46-yard line. Goes number 20, Jack Ganem. And Ganem will pick up 6 on the play. It'll be second down and 4 after he goes off the right side. And I think Danny Britt may just say, take this to the fourth quarter, and we'll just let the clock run from there. And that's exactly what they're going to do. Oh, no, wait a minute. Is there a penalty? They have a penalty against the BC. Either way, the quarter is going to be over by the time they get around to this. Ball goes on the 30. So it must have been a hold against BC, and that'll do it for the third. We go to the fourth. Benedictine 42 and Jenkins nothing. We're coming right back here on WatchBCSports.com. Welcome back here to Memorial Stadium. Final 12 minutes of the ball game. Luke Kromenhawk going to be out of the ball game now. What do we have? We have someone with Savannah Chatham County Police out there talking to the head official. Someone from Savannah Chatham County Public School Systems out there in on the conversation. So I'm not sure what this is all about. And now they're bringing in Tony Welch. And now Danny Britt's going to have to come out there. So not sure what this is all about. But we are delayed once again. But you got Danny Britt involved now. Jack Holland with Benedictine is coming out there to join Danny Britt. So you got Tony Welch, representative from Savannah Chatham County School System, someone with the Savannah Chatham County Police Department. You got a couple of police over there. And it looks like they're talking about Danny Britt is not happy with what's happening. And it looks like they may be talking about stopping it right here. And I can understand why he's incensed. And this is 2 years in a row, and there's really no reason for this to be happening. And I think what Danny Britt's saying is like, we haven't had any issues on our sideline. It's been over there. We got 1 quarter left to play. Let the kids play football. And I think Danny Britt's doing this more so for his second unit guys that he wants to get in there and play, get some reps, get some stuff on film. And I think he's got a legitimate gripe here. Are they sending BC to the locker room? And now they're sending Jenkins to. I don't understand what's happening. They are sending.
Ladies and gentlemen, we ask you to leave the stadium. Again, we ask everyone to leave the stadium.
Now they're asking all the fans to leave the stadium. They're sending the teams to the locker room.
We will have tonight's game.
So they're going to stop the game at the end of the third quarter. It's 42-0, and Danny Britt talking with Tony Welch. And I think he is rightfully incensed right now, where there was really no reason to stop this game. You did have some fisticuffs taking place in the home side stands. That was really the only incident that we saw up here. And then at the end of the third quarter, you saw some folks from the Chatham County Police Department coming out there, talking with folks from the Savannah Chatham County Public School System, Danny Britt and Tony Welch, and they're continuing the conversation out there. So now we're blowing the whistles. Are they going to tell everybody to come back out? I don't understand this is again. Are they going to play with everybody out of the stadium? I don't understand what's happening. Are they going to finish with nobody here but the players and the coaches? Again, the BC offensive staff is still up here in the coaches' box. I believe the Jenkins coaching staff is still up here. So they're waiting to see what's going on. Again, 2 years in a row, you've had some kind of incident in the first game of the season. Danny Britt and company are still out on the field. Tony Welch is still out on the field. One of the officials went following the Jenkins team and started blowing the whistle as if he was trying to tell him to come back out. So I'm not sure what's going on. If they are waiting to clear the stadium and we're going to resume, or what is happening. And again, I think, are we going to play with nobody in the stadium is what it looks like. And Danny Britt is having a big discussion with Jack Holland. And again, I think from this angle of it, you got a big game next week. There's a lot of new faces in the 2 deep that with a running clock, you want to maybe get 15, 20 plays out of, maybe. And to just stop the game, I could tell why he's like, you could see him gesturing to the officials and the police, hey, we haven't had an incident on our side. But they are trying to clear all the fans out. Now Danny Britt's walking over to talk to the officials about what the heck's going on. And from the way everybody's acting, nobody's clearing stuff off the sideline. We may play this with nobody in the stadium for the final 12 minutes with a running clock. So we're seeing conversations going on. Jack Holland talking with Tony Welch and folks from Jenkins. Danny Britt's continuing to have a conversation with the officiating crew, which again, last year when the incident happened, everybody went to the locker room, officiating crew and everybody. Right now, they're still all out on the field. So my guess is we may end up trying to finish this thing out with nobody in the stands. So now we're seeing the lead official talking with someone from, I think, the stadium crew here, so they can make an announcement as to what the heck's going on. The BC student section filing out. A lot of the BC fans filing out. Home side is almost empty over here. But the way everybody's acting, it looks like we may come back. Again, the offensive coaching staff is still up here in the booth for BC. So I don't know if they're waiting to find out what's going on, but we may play with nobody. And now Danny Britt's going to come talk to Tony Welch and the official. And you got the meeting of the minds here out there at about the 40-yard line. And so they're still telling everybody to exit the stadium. Haven't seen a post-game handshake with Tony Welch and Danny Britt. So, again, they're talking it over. And, again, I'd imagine Tony Welch wants to play this game, too. It's 42-0, but, again, your guys have worked hard in the offseason. You got a long season left to go. And now what are we doing? And Danny Britt just kind of throws his hands up. I think that might be it. Now we see handshakes with Jack Holland and Tony Welch. And they're going to call the ball game. So once again, the opening game with Jenkins and BC are unable to go the distance to the finish. And a lot of frustrated folks on the BC sideline. Because I think they wanted to finish this game. And now we see the offensive coaches next to us in the press box taking their gear off. And they're wrapping it up. We'll see if we can't get a word from somebody about what the heck's going on. Whether it be Coach Danny Britt or Jack Holland or somebody. As they're walking, Jack Holland's walking here to the near sideline with a Savannah Chatham County police officer. So not sure what the final decision was. I know Coach Britt was pleading his case to just let us finish. And it's a shame that, again, with the running clock, this thing would have been over in probably 15 minutes. With the running clock, it wasn't going to stop. And you had to make the decision to not finish the ball game. And now a lot of excitement going on outside the stadium. And again, we're trying to figure out why on earth the ball game got called. And again, we had the one incident, if you're just joining us, the one incident in the stadium was there was a fight in the stands, not too far down from us on the home side. And they stopped play momentarily to get that broken up. And then we resumed and finished out the third quarter. Then, with no known incident going on in the stadium, you had a couple of Savannah, Chatham County Public School officials, some Chatham County Police, and others meeting at midfield, and then we decided to send everybody to the locker room. We'll see if we can figure out what's going on. Jack Holland, the AD, walking up here towards the press box, and we'll see if we can grab a quick word with him and find out what exactly the outcome of this has been and why we had a stoppage here before we even got to the fourth quarter. We'll see. Can we talk with you a second, Jack? Okay, so Jack Holland, the AD, joining us here, and tell us what you know. I mean, obviously, there was a fight in the stands on the near side here that stopped the ball game for a little bit. Then at the end of the third quarter, we had running clock. Everybody got together. What can you tell us?
Yeah, thanks for being here, Kevin, and launching this new platform to bring BC football to our loyal supporters. Extremely frustrating. There was an incident right at the beginning of halftime, similar to what took place here against Jenkins last year. I'll give our folks, our supporters, our alums a tremendous amount of credit. There was absolutely no panic. They handled themselves beautifully. So did our students. And then the Savannah Police Department did a great job of getting everybody under control. And we thought we had everything calmed down. Both teams were ready to play in the second half. Had a running clock because we were up 35-0 at the half. And then unfortunately there was another incident on the Jenkins bleachers that caused a number of police officers to have to go into action. From what we understand, a fight and pepper spray involved and things like that amongst adults right in the middle of the Jenkins bleachers. And once that was handled, they resumed the game. We scored the touchdown, go up 42-0. And then I think some higher-ups involved with the Savannah Police Department, Chatham County, whatever it may be, still not exactly sure, so I don't want to speculate. They just said that it might be in the best interest to clear the stadium. When that option was presented to the coaches, then it became a player safety thing where, it's going to take 30-plus minutes to clear the stadium. Then you're going to bring the players back onto the field. You have to go through another warm-up to play a fourth quarter with a running clock. And Coach Britt and Coach Welch, the head coach at Jenkins, were very, very cordial. You feel for everybody involved. It's extremely frustrating to have to go through this tonight like this and take away an opportunity for our young men and Jenkins young men to have the opportunity to play on Friday night. And
Absolutely.
They work their tails off all summer, and they come out here and have a chance. And then, unfortunately, some people can't do what they're supposed to, and we have to cut the game short.
And as you said, I know some people will look at the score and say, well, what difference does it make? But as you said, Jenkins, you guys, been 100 degrees working for a month trying to get ready for this. I know at this point, what we saw a lot of guys at the end of the third who probably don't play a lot of snaps. And I know Coach Britt was like, hey, obviously it's not about the score now. It's about, hey, let's work for down the road and just get some guys some playing time, get them on tape. And it's frustrating you don't get to do that. But, again, you start off 1-0 under unfortunate circumstances. Next week, you go to Uptown Charlotte to play a Julius Chambers team that, what you were telling me, is pretty good. 4 times in the state championship last 4 years, won twice. I guess briefly, just tell folks who are listening, we've got a lot of folks listening right now about that trip and what they can expect next week.
Yeah, a tremendous football team, football program in Charlotte. They are used to success. And Coach Britt a few years ago made a conscious effort to play the best there was out there, not just in Georgia and not just around the local scene, but across state lines. And we'll have another opportunity to go up there. 4-hour trip. It's just like going to Atlanta if you're traveling from Savannah. So for those folks out there that weren't able to make it tonight, want to make a little road trip, should be a really good game. And we're going to have to play a lot better than we did tonight to hang in there with those guys. But it should be great competition. That's what you want in your non-region schedule. But, Kevin, I also want to thank everyone who was in attendance here tonight from the BC side. I mean, you're over here on the home press box side. You could see it across the way. And just what a great way to start the season with tremendous amounts of support. We almost had that entire visitor side completely covered. And our students were here. They were loud. It's a shame that the game played out like it did because a lot of people were here dressed in maroon, ready to pull for our guys. And fortunately, we end up on the winning end 42-0, but that's probably not going to be the story that everybody talks about tomorrow again. But I know our coaches have already turned the page. They're going to be looking ahead to next week and what will be a tremendous challenge for our guys and going on the road. But it's something that we'll look forward to, we'll embrace, and hope to see the BC faithful travel with us.
It is an earlier kickoff next week.
Yes, sir. It'll be a 7:00 kick up there. They requested that, and we were more than happy to help them out. It'll get us home just a little bit earlier as the team will travel back immediately after the game. So, no, it'll be a great test, and I'm looking forward to it. I know our coaches are, and our players will be up for it. That's for sure.
Well, Jack, I appreciate you coming up here and giving us a few moments. I know not the way anybody wanted it to end, but we were all we didn't see the second incident, I guess, that happened down there. So we were kind of wondering what in the world was going on. And I know every effort was made to finish it. And it's a shame, as you said, that it couldn't be done, but we appreciate it.
No, I appreciate it, Kevin. And thanks again for joining us this third straight year. You brought us 2 state championships already. We missed Christian on the call, but that we've been, got your son up here helping us out. So hopefully that was a little bit fun, but I know you had to talk a lot tonight without a sidekick, but thanks again, man. We appreciate everything you do for BC.
Absolutely. Jack Holland joining us, AD, for BC as the game called after the third quarter tonight with BC leading 42-0. That'll do it for us here on WatchBCSports.com. We were hoping to chat with Coach Britt, but obviously with the way things turned out, we will catch him another time as they get ready for Julius Chambers. Thanks for tuning in. And remember, next week, we're in the uptown Charlotte for Julius Chambers and BC. Kickoff at 7 o'clock, and you can catch it right here on WatchBCSports.com. Have a great evening, everybody.